Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namide Namaste Swarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshitarini Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Vaibhava today's session. Today we are starting chapter 4, Appearance of Sri Narad Muni. So Shaunaka Rishi further asks questions to Narad Muni, and Narad Muni starts Shaunaka Rishi further asks questions to Sudha Goswami. In first chapter he asked 6 questions and Sudha Goswami answered them in chapter 2 and 3. That was first 3 chapters of Bhagavatam, first canto. So that's the part A, or first part of canto 1. Now part 2 is chapters 4 to 19. The beginning of this chapter, Shaunaka Rishi will ask a few questions to Sutta Goswami, and to answer these few questions, Sutta Goswami will take entire canto 1. It will go on like this. Okay. So now let's see. And Vyasa Uvacha Iti Brvanam Samstuya Muninam Dirghasatrinam Viddha Kulapati Sutam Bahpricha Shaunaka Bravit. Interesting shloka and purport. On hearing Sutta Goswami speak thus, Shaunaka Muni, who was the elderly learned leader of all the rishis, engaged in that prolonged sacrificial ceremony, congratulated Sutta Goswami by addressing him as follows. So, yeah, qualifications of a leader of an assembly. Qualification of the leader of an assembly that we can see here. In the meeting of learned men, one who has the above mentioned qualities should congratulate the speaker. So, who can be the leader of an assembly? Who can be like lead? So, 3 things: Vriddhaha, elderly; Kulapatihi, head of the assembly; Kulapatihi; and Bahabrichaha, learned. These 3 qualities. He was natural head of the society, and he was elderly, eldest of all, and he was learned of all. When there are congratulations or addresses for the speaker, the qualification of the congratulator should be as follows. He must be leader of the house and an elderly man. He must be vastly learned also. Okay. So he had these qualifications. That's why he could congratulate. So now, Sudha Goswami expressed his desire to present Bhagavatam as exactly as he heard from Shukdev Goswami, and also realized his person. So now this is a very important thing here. What is personal realization? Every time, Prabhuji, can you share your realization? Or Mataji, can you share what is your personal realization? We ask each other, or devotees share their personal realization with each other. So, what is personal realization? Prabhupada talks here. That personal realization does not mean that one should, out of vanity, attempt to show one's own learning by trying to surpass the previous acharya. Very important. First of all, one should not, out of vanity, just to show off, just to prove and establish one's superiority, and that one should not show one's own learning by trying to surpass the previous acharya. That, oh, I know that I have learned this. No. He must have full confidence in the previous acharya. At the same time, he must realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. Okay, so that's one point. Point number one, you see, personal realization does not mean that one should, out of vanity, show one's learning and surpass previous acharya. That's one thing. Point number two, he must have full confidence in previous acharya. He must have full confidence on the previous acharya. Point number two. Point number three is, at the same time, he must realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. You should be expert in presentation also. Present in a suitable manner. Not in a boring manner. And monotonous manner, boring manner. It should be present interesting, suitable manner. Okay. And but number four. So 3 points we got. Number four is the original purpose of the text must be maintained. The original purpose of the text must be maintained. Number five, no obscure meaning should be screwed out of it. No obscure meaning should be screwed out of it. Yet, it should be presented in an interesting manner for the understanding of the audience. So these are the 6 points regarding personal realization. See, both balance of both. One should have faith in acharyas. At the same time, one should be so expert in the subject matter that he should be able to present it in an interesting manner. What Srila Prabhupada did. He followed the previous acharyas as it is. At the same time, how Prabhupada, he presented things amazingly. Amazingly, he would present things. Unique style of presentation, how he would teach his devotees, his disciples. Bhavananda Prabhu was sharing that, Prabhupada disciple, he was sharing that once in Mayapur, Prabhupada went for Ganges, Ganga Snan. And Prabhupada was going down to Ganges, but it was slippery. It was a little bit more slope. And Prabhupada had to go down to Ganges. So Bhavananda Prabhu held Prabhupada's hand, put his hand, raised his hand, and Prabhupada held Bhavananda Prabhu's hand, and carefully he came down into the water by holding Bhavananda Prabhu's hand. So Bhavananda Prabhu was basically helping Prabhupada to come to the water carefully. So once Prabhupada came there near Bhavananda Prabhu, he pushed Bhavananda Prabhu and pushed him away. And Bhavananda Prabhu fell on the water. Then Prabhupada said, this is Mayavad. See, I took your shelter, I took your help, and then I pushed you, rejected you. That's called Mayavad. They will accept a guru, take guru's help, guru's shelter, but then they will reject the guru, throw him away, kill the guru. This is Mayavad. They want to be God. So Prabhupada has a unique way of presenting, his interesting way of presenting, how he would present and teach his disciples. At the same time, he would teach the same thing. So Prabhupada wanted us to do the same. Sometimes it's difficult to strike balance between them. There are liberalists and there are fundamentalist or fanatic, too extreme. One group of people say, no, we should not, like, what Prabhupada said. It's like even a small word or this word you cannot go ahead and there. Everything should be just this. The other group is that no, we can understand better and then make it liquid and dilute it. The liberalist. We need to understand the main context. We need to understand it on principle, how to apply this according to time, place, circumstances. Mm. According to time, place, circumstances. So, yeah, again, there can be one way, one kind of people who are okay, only Prabhupada, and that's all. Yeah, we have only Prabhupada. But the thing is that what for them only Prabhupada means, for them only Prabhupada means only Prabhupada's book, that's all, and they don't accept even Acharya, other Acharyas also. Uh, and whatever Prabhupada said, okay, that's only. So what does it mean that like one person was saying that, like there is Bhishma Pancha, Chaturmasya Vrata. One person preacher was saying that this Chaturmasya and Bhishma Panchak, all these things, these are useless, and one who does all these things, he will not have success in life, and this and that, he will get doomed. Because Prabhupada didn't say these things. Prabhupada didn't tell us to follow Chaturmasya, Prabhupada didn't tell us to follow Bhishma Panchak. So one who follows Bhishma Panchak, Chaturmasya, he will be diminished, he will be destroyed, something to that effect he was saying. One preacher. So not only Prabhupada. And Prabhupada didn't say this thing means that doesn't mean that this is should be, this is nonsense. Okay, we follow Prabhupada, what Prabhupada say, we do that only. But to understand these things, which understand in a balanced manner. Prabhupada preached Krishna consciousness. He told us to chant Hare. That's the main thing. Mukhya and Gauna. Mukhya is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, following regulatory principles, studying Bhagavatam, worshipping the deity, and book distribution, preaching. These are the Mukhya aspect. And there are some Gauna aspects like Brata, Tapasya, Chaturmasya, Vishnu. These are there in the Shastra. Which Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to do Chaturmasya. And Hari Bhakti Vilas, Sanatana Goswami says Chaturmasya. So it's there. Prabhupada just didn't emphasize, Prabhupada didn't highlight it, Prabhupada didn't just showed it to devotees, okay, do this. It's not required because devotees following regulatory principles, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and preaching Krishna consciousness, it's enough. But if a devotee after following all these things, if he wants to do Chaturmasya, it's fine. But if I say no, because Prabhupada didn't preach it, it's following Chaturmasya is bogus. So that word is bogus, that preaching is bogus. That is there. But point is when I will say is bogus, Chaturmasya is bogus, when I will say that if a devotee is very much attached to Chaturmasya and Vishnu Panchak, but he is not preaching in the name of sake of doing Chaturmasya and Vishnu Panchak, he is, or Damodar Vrata, he is giving us, he is compromising in preaching, compromising in chanting, compromising in sadhana, compromising in what Prabhupada said, then I will say that is bogus. Being a follower, that's bogus. But if someone is following his whatever Prabhupada said, following regulatory principle, chanting minimum 16 rounds and more, and then he is preaching also everything, and then side by side he is doing Chaturmasya, it's fine. It's fine. So that's the thing. Some preacher go to one extreme and say that no, like they go by just literal word by word. Prabhupada didn't say means it's gone. So there are, if there is one dot, one devotee was giving an example that if there is, let's see, if there is one dot here, just one dot. So from that one dot, how many lines can you draw? From this one dot, how many lines can be drawn? 1, 2, 3. Is it? No, we can have unlimited lines from this one dot. We can have unlimited lines from this one dot. Yeah, like that, many lines can be drawn from one dot. But if we say that no, there are dots like this, if there are dots like this, and these, and these, huh, and these, then what can you do? Then how many lines can you draw connecting these dots? There can be only one line, isn't it? There can be only one line, not more than that. So that's the point. Prabhupada, what we can't understand Prabhupada, okay, we see that Prabhupada said something. We are not able to understand what the application of that. So let's see what did previous Acharya say about the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, and Mahaprabhu. What are the main teachings of Shastra? Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, Vakya. All three are there. Sadhu, Guru, Shastra, all three should be there. Not only Sadhu or not only Guru, not only Shastra. Sadhu and Guru and Shastra, all three should be there. Then we can connect it. So that's also another thing, that sometimes people go to one extreme and say, no, Prabhupada said, literally Prabhupada said this, only this, and discard other thing. And the other group of people are there who are diluted or liberalists. They, in the name of all inclusiveness, they include everything. What Prabhupada didn't say, what Prabhupada told not to do, that also. Everything they will mix up and they will make it a Khichdi Mayavada. That's Mayavad. Mayavadi say this say impersonal. Everything will mix up. Samanvayavadi. Saraswati Thakur used to call it Samanvayavad. They used to do that Samanvaya. So that's one thing, like personal realization. We should preach from personal realization, yet we should be faithful to Acharyas, except that I was interacting with one devotee. He is a preacher of Bhagavad Kathakar in ISKCON. And popular, famous, and different thing. I was interacting with the devotee and he was asking me, we are discussing different things from Bhagavad. And then he was saying me that like first canto of 1.1.3, 1.1.2, Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Kritya Kim Vaparishwara. Bhagavatam was compiled by Mahamuni Vyasdev. Who is this Mahamuni? I said, Vyasdev is the Mahamuni. And Narendra Rishi, the Mahamuni, according to Prabhupada purport and Vishwanath Thakur's purport, as we read, Vyasdev is Mahamuni mainly, and Narendra Rishi also said Mahamuni. Yeah. So he said, no, Narad Muni is Mahamuni. I said, okay, how? Because by the instruction of Narad Muni only, Vyasdev compiled Bhagavatam. Okay. So Narad Muni is Mahamuni. I said, okay, very good. I don't have any problem in accepting Narad Muni as Mahamuni. But did any Acharya said this? Where is the reference? Which Acharya said that like this? He said, no, Acharyas don't need to say everything. Acharyas don't need to say everything. We also understand many things. So not that every time Acharyas will say this and that. We also understand our realizations. So that's very dangerous. If someone thinks that, oh, I realize things or I have got my realization, I can understand things on my own, that's very, very dangerous. Then another thing he was saying, asking me, he said, Kardam Muni and Kapil Dev. So Kapil Dev, the Supreme Lord, his incarnation, Kapil Dev, Supreme Lord himself came as the son of Kardam Muni. But even though the Supreme Lord came as the son of Kardam Muni, still Kardam Muni took renunciation. He left home. He went to the forest, took sannyas. Why did he do so? I said Prabhupada explained in his purport that he followed, even the Supreme Lord came, he followed the dharma. First of all, he took the vow. He gave the vow that, okay, once I got son, I will leave home, and then it's dharma. He showed the example. Pancha showed them, everybody should follow this dharma. He said no. He said only a grihastha can understand that. So that time I was a brahmachari ashram, and he was in the grihastha ashram. He said only a grihastha can understand that. So really, only a grihastha can understand that. Brahmachari sannyasi cannot understand. What's the point that grihasthas can understand only? So please tell me. I asked him. He said, yeah. And he was saying that in one of my class, Bhagavatam class, and someone asked me this question, and then I got a revelation in heart. Immediately I got a revelation in heart that why it happened, why the Kardam Muni took sannyas. He said that Kardam Muni had 9 daughters, and he gave these 9 daughters to 9 sages, that you see in third canto. So even though the 9 daughters were married and all, and he had son who is supreme God, but still there are family matters. So if he would be there in home, there would be issues from his 9 daughters family, this family issue, that family issue. He had to go and solve all these things. They would get their children. He had to spend his time with his kid, with their kids, with the grandson, granddaughter, all these things. So he just left. I was like mind boggling. Wow. Wow, Prabhu, what a realization you have. Only Grihasthas can understand that. Eh. So then Saraswati Thakur, who was a sannyasi, Nastic Brahmachari, so that means he couldn't understand that. He is not qualified to understand that. So like that kind of understanding these people have, like even our preachers sometimes they show some things. Devotees, if they think, oh, I understand this, I understand that. I have studied this Shastra, that Shastra, so many things. I can connect so many things together, and I can speak so many things. So without Prabhupada, we are nothing. Prabhupada has so easily, so beautifully, amazingly, he explained to us. Without Prabhupada, we are nothing. We are just like we have one sannyasi, Maharaj. He was saying that if we would not come to Prabhupada, under Prabhupada's shelter, even a dog would not look at us. What qualifications do we have? Even a dog would not look at us. As a street dog would not look at us. So we don't have any like what qualifications we have. Prabhupada so easily, so understand, amazingly he explained his books. We read Prabhupada's books, now we think, oh, we understood so many things. And now we are the big scholar. So that's one thing. Original purpose of the text must be maintained. No obscure meaning should be screwed out of it. Yet it should be presented in an interesting manner. So it should be presented in an interesting manner, so that people can understand. Kali Yuga, dull-headed brain of people, they can understand. And another place, Prabhupada said that preachers of Bhagavatam should preach so effectively, amazing, like thoughtfully, intelligently, so that it can penetrate the dull-headed brain of people in Kali Yuga. Prabhupada was like that. How amazingly he was preaching. Those hippies asked him, "What is back to God? What is Godhead looks like?" He said, "It's like ocean of LSD." So you see Prabhupada's way of explaining. But we should be careful in using that kind of example. Prabhupada could call them rascal and fools, anything, but we should be careful. Okay, we go forward. It's beautiful purport. And next sloka talks about how Shuka Samhita, they are requesting him to describe Shuka Samhita. Okay, Shukasam. Shaunaka Uvacha Suta Suta Mahabhaga Vadano Vadatamvara Katham Bhagavatim Punyam Yadaha Bhagavan Shuka. Shaunaka said that Sutta Goswami, or Sutta Goswami, you are the most fortunate and respected of all those who can speak and recite. Please relate the pious message of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was spoken by the great powerful sage Shukadev Goswami. Please relate the pious message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shuka, Sutta Sutta Mahabhaga Vadano Vadatambara. The Goswami is twice addressed herein by Shaunaka Goswami out of great joy because he and the members of the assembly were eager to hear the text of Bhagavatam uttered by Shukdev Goswami. They are not interested in hearing it from a bogus person who interprets in his own way to suit his own purpose. So, two types of Prabhupada is saying in the Bible, two types of disqualified reciters of Bhagavatam who are not, his word is unqualified. They're not qualified to recite Bhagavatam. Who are them? Those who do professional recitation and kind of Mayavadi Panditas. The other are those who directly jump into 10 canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And who are the qualified, Pathaka qualified reciter of Bhagavatam is who are like Shukdev Goswami and his followers. Like they go to 10th canto and misexplain the most confidential part of Lord's pastimes. So now text 3 talks about the history of Bhagavatam. Now this is the question, first question. Okay. Question about history of Bhagavatam. कस्मिन् युगे प्रवृत्तेयं स्थाने वाकेन हेतुना कुतः संचोदितः कृष्णः कृतवान् संहितं मुनिः. In what period and at what place was this first begun? And why was this taken up? From where did Krishna, the Dvaipayana Vyasa, the great sage, get the inspiration to compile this literature? Where did he get the inspiration to compile this literature? What place? What place? And why was this taken up? Where did Krishna Vaishnava its inspiration? Okay. Kasmin yuge, what age? Sthaneva kena hetuna. So this is the question, WHO word, question words, question marks. Kasmin kena kutaha sanchodito Krishna kritavan samhitam munihi. So this is first question. And to answer this question, Sutta Goswami will speak this entire 4th chapter, 5th chapter, 6th chapter till 7.11. So this is the unit 2. Actually, this sloka, text 3 is the basis of unit 2 of our Bhakti Vaibhava, chapter 4, 5, 6. Bhagavad is a special gift of Shukdev Goswami to us, and Vyasdev to us. Okay. Now, text 4, second question. Qualities of Shukdev Goswami. तस्य पुत्र महायोगी समदृङ् निर्विकल्पकः एकान्तमतिरुन्निद्रा गूढमूढ इवेयते. His Vyasdev's son was a great devotee and equivalent monist whose mind was always concentrated in monism. He was not ignorant but was transcendental to mundane activities. He was ignorant, transcendental to mundane activities. He was not ignorant but transcendental. So that's the qualifications of Shukdev Goswami. Mahayogi, great devotee. Samadrik Nirvikalpakaha, an equivalent monist. Ekantamatihi, whose mind is always concentrated in monism. Unnidraha, he was transcendental to mundane activities. Gudha mudha iveyate, being unexposed, he appeared ignorant. Qualities of him. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains this word Nirvikalpakaha interestingly. Hmm. Prabhupada said this is Nirvikalpaka means an equivalenced monist. Saraswati Thakur explains that this Nirvikalpaka means he is not attached to his post position of Bhagavad Acharya, and he is not, or he doesn't have any issue to accept Sutta Goswami and others, is like other people as Bhagavad Acharya. So that's very important. Means he doesn't have any envy or jealousy that, oh, this happens. Even it happens in mundane platform, means Guru Shishya or teacher and student also. Counselor and counselate. You have seen counselor might think that, oh, this counselor of mine is progressing so fast. And he's so qualified and he will surpass me. Or my department in charge might think that, okay, or maybe temple president might think that, okay, this devotee, I preached to him and he became devotee just a few months back, and now he is progressing so fast, he's doing this and that, and everybody is glorifying him. So he might take my position, my post, like Indra syndrome. If anyone start doing some yoga or tapasya, Indra becomes so alerted, paranoid that, oh, why he is doing tapasya? Maybe he will take my position, post. So, but Shukdev Goswami is not paranoid about that. Okay, Sutta Goswami becomes my Sutta Goswami becomes a Bhagavad Acharya. He also becomes recognized an Acharya. Then my position will be threatened. No, that's Nidvikalpaka. And the purport Prabhupada talks about difference between liberated soul and conditioned soul. Liberated soul is always engaged in progressive path of spiritual upliftment. Baddhajib for conditioned soul, it's like a dream. It's a dreamy thing. For liberated soul, material activities are like, it's like a dream to them, or it's like a what called a dreamy state, nightmare to them. But for material conditioned souls, devotional activities are difficult for them. It's like the words of Bhagavad Gita, Yanisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Samyami Agrati. That means what is a day for a sadhu, it's a night for materialists. On the other hand, what is a night for sadhus is a day for materialists. Opposite. People come to our temple and they say, oh, see, these sadhus are dancing Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Is what kind of unsmart guys are dancing and chanting like that. But when they go and sing and dance in their party and club and drink and dance intoxicated, no clue what they are doing. So when devotees go to that kind of area, devotees don't like it. When you go and travel, they go for preaching, some mundane songs are playing, devotees don't like. I think once Prabhupada was going somewhere by flight or by somewhere, and they played some movie there in their flight or that bus or somewhere. But I didn't like this. What is this nonsense they are showing? On the other hand, when they come and see our devotees chanting and dancing and doing bhakti, they find it boring. Conditioned souls cannot imagine the engagements of liberated, so they cannot imagine that state. Now, again, giving how he is Nirvikalpaka and doesn't have any differentiation, giving the example of that. दृष्ट्वानुयान्तं ऋषिमात्मजमप्यनग्नं देव्यो ह्रिया परिदधूर्नसुतस्य चित्रम् तद्वीक्ष्य पृच्छति मुनौ जगदुस्तवास्ति स्त्रीपुंभिदानतु सुतस्य विविक्तदृष्टेः. While Sri Vyasdev was following his son, the beautiful young damsels who were bathing naked covered their bodies with cloth, although Sri Vyasdev himself was not naked. But they did not do so when his son passed. The sage inquired about these, and the young ladies replied that his son was purified, and when looking at them, made no distinction between male and female, but the sage made such distinctions. So, After his birth, Shukdev Goswami just left home. And Vyasdev, the father, he was going behind him. Putra, 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 he was going behind him. But and then they are passing by a lake where some beautiful young damsels, ladies, were taking bath naked. Uh, so when they saw Shukdev Goswami, they didn't like feel anything. Like Shukdev Goswami just passed, and they didn't show any reaction. But when Vyasdev came, immediately they covered their body. Vyasdev was curious. So what happened? Then he asked question actually. Acharyas explained in their commentary that actually Vyasdev asked question that see, my son is young. My son is young, and even my son is not wearing any clothes, naked. And by seeing my son, you girls didn't have any reaction, didn't have any embarrassment or shame. You are like normal. But I am an old man, and that too I am wearing clothes. I am fully clothed. But seeing me, you got like uh, like that. You are trying to control yourself, and like uh, you are showing your shyness and all. So then the ladies, these girls, replied that your son purified, fully purified, and he doesn't have any distinction between male and female. No distinction between male and female. For him, everything is same. He is just on a pure platform. But you are a grihastha. You are a grihastha. That's why you have distinctions. Acharya's comment like that. So, but that doesn't diminish or undermine the position of Vyasdev, incarnation of Supreme Lord. It's another uh, episode to teach us lesson, to teach us this beautiful lesson. Ultimately, that platform where no distinction is just pure platform. What to speak of male and female? Even man, animal, no distinction. They can go and stay with tiger or python, and this animal also will understand the state of. Haridas Thakur was there in one place, and he was chanting there, and there was a like cobra snake in that cave, and devotees were requesting Haridas Thakur, please leave this place. This cobra is so dangerous. Haridas Thakur, no issue, I can stay there. And he was chanting, continuing. And cobra was also there nearby Haridas Thakur, but wouldn't disturb Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur would be chanting. But the devotees requested again and again. So then Haridas Thakur said, okay, I'll leave. So when Haridas Thakur thought he will leave, then the cobra himself left that place. So pure devotees, they don't distinguish between anything. But Loka Vyavahar is there. Loka Vyavahar, social relationship. For that, we need to see, because we are in this material world. That doesn't mean we stop any distinction between male, female now in our society, and everybody should intermingle, free mingling between them. That's dangerous. The ladies were like exactly like children and grandchildren of Shukdev Goswami, Vyasdev. Yet they reacted to the presence of Vyasdev according to social custom, because he played the role of householder. At least theoretically, one must be convinced that a living entity is neither male nor female. Theoretically, one should understand and accept this fact. Okay. Now, Shukdev Goswami's external state, how was that? Kathamalakshitah pore sampraptah kurjangalan unmatta mukha jaravad vicharan gajasahavaye. How was he, Sukdev, the son of Vyasdeva, recognized by the citizens when he entered the city of Hastinapur, now Delhi, after wandering in the provinces of Kuru and Jangala, appearing like a madman, dumb and retarded? He entered the city of Hastinapura, Sukdev Goswami. So that was another question. Another question: how did, like, when he entered like a madman, how did these people in Hastinapur accept him? So how to find a sadhu, understand a sadhu through our ears, not through eyes. See a sadhu through ears, not through eyes. That's the main point here. Hmm. One should approach a sadhu or great sage not to see but to hear him. See, a sage is not therefore recognized by sight but by hearing. So listen from that Shukdev Goswami, like sadhus. He didn't want to please any people. He did not satisfy. Shukdev Goswami did not satisfy the whims of ordinary citizens by speaking some sweet words or anything. No, he was just cut to cut. Now, meeting between question regarding between Shuk and Parikshit. How was the meeting? कथं वा पाण्डवेयस्य राजर्षे मुनिना सह संवादः समभुत्तात यत्रैषा सात्वती श्रुतिः. How did it so happen that King Parikshit met this great sage, making it possible for this great transcendental essence of the Vedas, Bhagavatam, to be sung him? How did it happen? How was this possible? Because Shukdev Goswami is a sannyasi. He doesn't even stay in one place for long days and for a long time. How could Parikshit Parikshit was the king? How could he meet the sage? It will be clarified next verse also. Clarified in the next text. So Godahana matram hi griheshu priha medhinam avekshete mahabhaga stirthi kurvam sadashramam. Shukdev Goswami, was accustomed to stay at the door of a householder only long enough for a cow to be milked. And he did this just to sanctify the residence. So, as much as time it requires to milk the cow, how much time? Few minutes. For that long time only he would be. So, when he would come to a householder, he would and till the time it requires to milk the cow, that time he would stay there and he would give them some instructions, transcendental message, some instructions on bhakti, that do bhakti, chant, something he would tell, take the milk and go. And he did this just to sanctify the residents. Not that he requires milk, that's why he came. He came, that's the point, that why do great souls travel? They travel to purify the living beings. Maham Tera, another slogan, Mahadvi Chalanam Rinam. What is that verse? I think in 10th canto. I think it's in 10th canto of Bhagavatam. It's a beautiful verse. One verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mohantera Shohabe Tarite Pamor Nijo Karjo Nahito Bujan Purokot. That's another verse. That's the nature of the Mahantas, great soul, that they don't have anything to do to go to, they don't have any personal interest to go to householders and people, but they go to people's house just to deliver them. So that's one reference. Nija Karja. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita. You see, Madhya 8.39. Nijo Karya Nahi to Bujan Tar Ghor. It is a great general practice of all saintly people to deliver the fallen. Therefore, they go to people's houses, although they have no personal business there. নিজ কার্য নাহিতে বুঝান পুরো সিসি মধ্যে 8.39. A sannyasi is supposed to beg from door to door. He does not beg simply because he is hungry. His real purpose is to enlighten the occupant of every house by preaching Krishna consciousness. A sannyasi does not abandon his superior position and become a beggar just for the sake of begging. Similarly, a person in householder life may be very important, but he also may also voluntarily take the mendicant way of life. Rupa Goswami did that. That's the way of preaching. Mahad Grihinam Dina Chatasam. Yeah, this is another verse. 10.8.4. Mahad Vichalanam Nrinam Grihinam Dina Chetasam Nishayasaya Bhagavan Kalpate Nanyatha Kvachit. O my Lord, O great devotee, persons like you move from one place to another, not for their own interests, but for the sake of poor-hearted grihasthas, householders. Otherwise, they have no interest in going from one place to another place. 10.8.4. Yeah. So, ideal mendicant traveling preacher, Prabhupada is talking about, he doesn't have anything else to do other than just enlightening the householders. Prabhupada is saying that, see one's point here. Yeah, see, one who is in the renounced order of life should not be allured by the glamour of the householders' worldly possessions and thus become subservient to worldly men. For one who is in the renounced order of life, this is much more dangerous than drinking poison and committing suicide. Saraswati, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that this is like chala bhiksha. Chala bhiksha means chala is cheating or deceiving. So he's begging in like deceiving. Now text 9 talks about how great soul Parikshit Maharaj. They ask question about Parikshit Maharaj in text 9. Okay, 9 to 12 questions about Parikshit Maharaj. अभिमन्यु सुतम सूत प्राहुर्भागवतोत्तमं तस्य जन्म महाश्चर्यं कर्माणि च अग्निहीना. It is said that Maharaj Parikshit is a great first-class devotee of the Lord and that his birth and activities are all wonderful. Please tell us about him. Tasya janma mahascharyam, wonderful birth about him. Yeah, during birth, in mother's womb, he saw Krishna. Who can see it? For how many people it happens? His activities also, he could punish Kali. And his death, before his death, he could know that he will die on that day. So who could know that? So amazing. His birth was amazing, his activities were amazing, and his death was also amazing. Wonderful for mortal being. The previous notice, everything is amazing. Now, why did he did this prayopaveshana? Sasamrat kasyava hetah pandunam manavardanah prayopavishta gangaya manadritya dhirat shriyam. He was a great emperor and possessed all the opulences of his acquired kingdom. He was so exalted that he was increasing the prestige of the Pandu dynasty. Why did he give up everything to sit down on the bank of the Ganges and fast until death? Why did he do that? Fast until death. Hmm? That's the question. So previously the point was that how come Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj met? Because Shukdev Goswami was a great sage, renunciate. He doesn't even meet with a Grihastha even for a long time, just as much as the time requires for milking the cow. So how come he met with a king for 7 days, 7 nights? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as an ideal sannyasi wouldn't allow King Pratap Rudra, who was a great devotee, to meet with him. Of course, later he met, but then how come Shukdev Goswami met with Parikshit for so long? What happened between them? Question is that. And now, how come Parikshit Maharaj gave up everything and then sat on the bank of Ganges and fast until death? So what happened with him? He's great amazed because, see, he was a king and all his citizens depended on him. Citizens, praja, everyone's life depended on him. So how come he gave up everything? And his now text 11 talks about how his prowess and his aishwarya. नमन्ति यत्पादनिकेतमात्मनः शिवाय हानीय धनानि शत्रुवः कथं स वीरः श्रियमङ्ग्यदुस्त्यजम् युवेशतोत्स्रष्टुमहो सः सुभिः. He was such a great emperor that all his enemies would come and bow down at his feet and surrender at their wealth for their own benefit. He was full of youth and strength, and he possessed ins- huh? insuperable kingly opulences. Why did he want to give up everything, including his life? Why? His Shaurya, his Aishwarya, great emperor. All his enemies would come and bow down at his feet and surrender all their wealth to him. Such strength, full of youth. Why did he do that? He didn't. Parikshit Maharaj didn't have anything like in his life which is missing. Everything was fulfilled. His life was fulfilled. So there was no need that he gave up. Yeah, of course, kings would, ideal kings, devoted kings, they used to take vanaprastha at the end of life when they are elderly. Parikshit Maharaj was such young man. Wow, why did he do that? So that was the question. Now, text 12 talks about Parikshit Maharaj, how he is selfless. शिवाय लोकस्य भवाय भूतये य उत्तम श्लोक परायणा जनः जीवन्ति नात्मार्थमसौपदाश्रयम् मुमुच निर्विद्य कुतः कलेवरम्. Those who are devoted to the cause of personality of Godhead live only for the welfare, development, and happiness of others. Yeah, they live. Prabhupada wanted to live. Prabhupada didn't want to leave his body. Prabhupada wanted to. He said that pray to Krishna that our spiritual master has his mission unfulfilled, still remaining. Prabhupada wanted to live in order to fulfill the mission. What is that? Preaching Krishna consciousness, following the order of Guru. So they do not live for any selfish interest. So even though the Emperor Parikshit was free from all attachment to worldly possessions, how could he give up his mortal body, which was shelter for others? How could he give up? So he was ideal king, householder, because he was the devotee of the personality of Godhead. A devotee of the Lord has automatically all good qualifications, and the emperor was a typical example of this. Shivaya lokasta bhavaya bhutaye. So two types of swartha, or two types of selfish desires. One is self-centered, another is extended. Like only I want to enjoy. This is the selfish, self-centered, and my family, let there be prosperity for my family, for the society, for my country. That's extended selfishness. So, but Parikshit Maharaj and devoted king, they are selfless. So, king like Parikshit Maharaj has the same mission like Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord has the mission is deliver the fallen soul. Parikshit Maharaj also has the same thing. So, oneness in purpose. See, selfishness is either self-centered or self-extended. He was neither. His interest was to please the supreme truth, personality of Godhead. King's interest, you see, is to guide all subjects back to the kingdom of God. Same interest. So now, yeah, like that. So till text 12, we saw these questions. Now text 13 also says, okay, yeah, similar, summarize this. Let's see that. The rishis are saying that they have faith on Parikshit. They have faith on Sutta Goswami. तत्सर्वं न समाचक्ष पृष्ठ यदिह किंचन मन्ये त्वां विषये वाचां स्नातमन्यत् प्रछान्दसात्. We know that you are expert in the meaning of all subjects except some portions of the Vedas, and thus you can clearly explain the answers to all the questions we have just put to you. You are expert in the meaning of all subjects. Just some portion of Vedas means not that are relevant for us. But Bhakti, he was a Bhakti Acharya. There are different things. Some section means Karma Kanda and all. Fruitive activity. Those sections he is not expert, but for Bhakti he is expert. The Prabhupada talks about difference between Veda and Purana and Brahman and Parivrajaka Acharya. Brahman means those who are mostly expert in fruitive activities and these Karma Kanda, mantras, tantras. Parivrajaka Acharya, renunciant. He is Parivrajaka, he is a pure devotee, he preaches. He might not be expert in mantra, tantra, and Vedic rituals, but he is expert in transcendental truth. He preaches that. But Parivrajaka Acharyas are more important and more like dearer to Supreme Lord. There's no difference between Vedic mantras, Puranas, and Itihas. According to Jiva Goswami, it is mentioned in the Madhyadina Shruti that all the Vedas, namely the Sama, Atharva, Rik, Yajus, Puranas, Itihasa, Upanishad, etc., are emanations from the breathing of the Supreme Being. The only difference is that the Vedic mantras are mostly began with Pranava Omkara, and it requires some training to practice the metric pronunciation of the Vedic mantras. Okay. So Vedic mantras with metric pronunciation, which depends more on practice than actual realization. Realization is more important than parrot-like chanting. Yeah, that's more important than parrot-like chanting. Okay, so now till 14 or till 13, we saw that Shonak Rishi's questions about, 3 questions about Bhagavatam, when, where, how, and whose inspiration did Vyasadeva compile it. It will be answered in 1.4.14 to 1.7.11. And question 2 about Parikshit Maharaj, his birth, activities, and renunciation. It will be answered in 1.7.12 to 19. And Shukdev Goswami, how was he perceived at Hastinapura, and how did his meeting with Parikshit take place? It will be answered in 1.18 to 19, last 2 chapters. So these 3 questions constitute the rest of the first canto. So now he will start answering from 14, which we will see next session. Hare Krishna.